Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. It's me, Simply Sheeta, and today is Sunday, August the 18th, and I am 18 days post op VSG, and I am a little bit more alert than I was in the last video, guys. I made certain of it, so thank you for coming back. Hi guys, it's me and my protein coming back to you guys again on another beautiful hot Sunday. Excuse me. Ready to talk to you guys about how things have been going with Holly Go Lightly, aka my new sleeve stomach, which you guys know was done on July 31st, 2019. I wanted to, before I began my subject matter for today, just talk a little bit to you guys about my video that I posted last week. I think that video, I watched it. Let me start by saying this. I watched the video afterwards, which I usually do with my videos just to see how I come across, etc. And I'm looking at myself and I'm like, wow, I really, you could see by the end of the video how exhausted I was. I really was trying to push through that video. I can even tell I was cloudy at points. I kept it going, but even I recognized just the difference in myself. And because of that, I decided to wait a little bit later. Usually I like to do my videos kind of early in the morning when the dogs are asleep so you don't hear the noise and things in the background. And I realized today, like, that probably would not be the best thing to do, because I woke up again feeling really janky, and it probably took me about 5 to 6 hours today to try to get myself where I needed to be. So yeah, that's one of the things with VSG surgery that people did not talk about a lot when I was doing all of my research, among other things, which I probably will have to do a video about it later. But one of the things that I do notice, guys, that it is a very serious thing to get your nutrients and your protein and your water. It is of utmost importance. You guys know I've talked about my last video. My goal has been and continues to be to not go back to the hospital for dehydration. However, I can tell you guys, I know for a fact I was very close to being dehydrated to that point. One day in particular, when the nurse came, my blood pressure was so low she could not hear it. And she said, you're almost there. You need to get some fluids in. And I think that day my blood pressure was like 103/60 or something. It was dangerously low. So that sip, protein, get your water. It is real. It is a requirement. It is something that I know is going to be something I'm going to have to deal with now that I've had the surgery the rest of my life. So what I've been doing is trying to find ways to deal with it and handling it, because again, I'm not trying to be down in the hospital waiting for them to pump me full of fluids again. So I have my Crystal Light with my Gene Pro in here. So this is my second bottle today. Again, it took me a couple of hours to get myself situated, so I've already finished one bottle, and this is a bottle that I have to finish by the end of the day in order to meet my protein goals. And I also need to try to get in water as well so I can actually meet my fluid goals. So how things have been this past week. Well, let me just say this week has been a good week for me, because on Friday I had my last Lovenox shot. And guys, when I tell you how happy I was on Friday morning when my daughter gave me that last injection, it probably was the worst thing about my surgery so far, getting those shots. My stomach site reactions was ridiculous. I mean, I'm still having, and today is Sunday, I am still having itching. Definitely not as bad as it was, but there was a point where my stomach just looked like raw hamburger meat. It was so red and inflamed, not counting the bruises that I had from the heparin shots in the hospital. It was the worst. So if you are someone that have been told that you will have to do or if you're someone that's doing the Luminox shots, God bless you, because again, I really know that pain and torture. But I have a post-op ditty to share that will hopefully help you, if you are someone that have to do the shots, get through the shots. Unfortunately, I cannot give you a lot of information about how to deal with the site reaction, because I found myself going to my Instagram page asking people if they had suggestions, and I tried numerous things. It just wasn't working for me. Calamine lotion. I tried just an anti-itch cream. Someone suggested Benadryl, which I was kind of afraid to take because swallowing pills is a whole different challenge. So I don't want to have to swallow pills if I don't have to. You know, icing it, soaking it, and not soaking it, but kind of laying cold compresses. I tried it all, and it some things provided temporary relief. Nothing completely relieved me. And hopefully tomorrow when I see my surgeon, he'll be able to tell me, oh, you know, it'll just be a couple more days or something about it, because it was the worst. But again, getting back to those people who may have to actually do it, post-op ditty, ice the area first. That is actually going to help ease the pain of the injection, because they're pretty big needles. So one of the first things that I suggest that really helped me with the actual getting the injections when my daughter would give them to me is to actually ice that area before you grab your skin and actually give yourself the injection. It helped me so much. There were some days where I didn't even feel injections. Not all the time, I'm going to be completely honest, but quite a few times she did it and I was like, oh, you did it? And she was like, yeah, Mom, it's done. So ice that area. It helps, as well as when you clean the area with alcohol, as they instruct you to do, let that dry, because what happens is sometimes giving yourself an injection, if it's not dry, you actually put the alcohol, when the injection goes in, the alcohol goes in and it also causes pain. So take that post-op ditty to the bank. It works. It's how I got through my Lovenox shots. So besides coming off of my Lovenox shots, guys, this week was a big week for me, learning about how to live with this sleeve, for lack of better words. Me and Holly Golightly, we have been building a relationship this past week, because I entered the parade stage on Wednesday, which you guys know was my 2 week since my surgery. I went into the parade stage, and it's been interesting. It's been very interesting. First of all, one of the first things that I had, as most people have, is a scrambled egg. And I will insert a picture of a before and after picture I took when I ate the egg. And I'm going to tell you guys, I was very shocked. Very shocked at how quickly I became full. I just, maybe in part I was a little afraid, because to date I have not had any kind of vomiting, nausea, or anything that some people complain about, thank God. And I was just like, thinking, what if I can't eat eggs anymore? What if it makes me sick? And I was very cautious. But I'm fine with eggs. I can eat eggs. I have been eating eggs since I entered the parade stage. But I also have been eating other things. And one thing that I want to talk about, this is one of the things that I really wanted to talk about this week, is when you make those food choices, you know, it's very, very important to think about, because what I started to do is I started to eat chicken and stars soup, and good old-fashioned Campbell's chicken and star soup. My supermarket had Campbell's on sale this week. Soup has always been my friend. I love soup. I love making soup. I love eating soup. So I decided, because the stars are so small, I would just get me a can of Campbell's chicken noodle soup. I mean, chicken noodle. I got chicken noodle and I got chicken and stars. Well, the chicken and star soup, guys, it was very, very kind to me. It truly was. It was delicious. I even had the idea to add spinach one day, and it was almost like an Italian wedding soup a little bit. Like, very, very good. I know it's high in sodium, but I water it down, and quite honestly, that is not my concern at this stage in my journey, sodium. because I'm only able to consume so much anyway. So I started with this chicken and rice, chicken and star soup. I was pleasantly surprised that I could get about 2 to 3 spoonfuls in it before I felt full, and it was delicious. Guys, I noticed my weight loss kind of started to get jagged. And yeah, I know I said I wasn't going to get on the scale every day, but you're tempted. It's really a temptation, and that's another video I'll talk about later. But I got on the scale and I did not see the scale move. It didn't move up, but it didn't move down. And I realized it's the pasta. It is the pasta in the soup. The same thing with eating. My program allowed for grits in this stage and in the previous stage. And of course, mashed potatoes. That's what a lot of people go for. And I had some of that too, and I did not see that scale move. And I realized it is the carbs. I personally, and again, this is my program, my journey, how I'm doing it. I am not at this time planning to do keto. I have my own thoughts on keto. Again, another video. But I think what helps people to succeed with quicker weight loss, drastic numbers, like really fast weight loss, is people that go into keto and stay into ketosis. Your first couple of weeks, you go into ketosis. You're drinking broth. You really don't have any carbs. There really is no way to get really carbs into your system, and you go through ketosis. You wake up, your breath is disgusting. You have a nasty taste in your mouth. I was getting headachy, which I know was really me getting into ketosis. And honestly, when I first ate the soup, even though it was a small amount, it must have kicked me out of ketosis because I immediately felt better. However, because I have to see my surgeon on Monday, I really just did not want to go with a loss that was less than I thought would be good, even though it's not really nothing I can do to undo what I've done other than stay aware from that point on, which is what I've been doing. So watch the potatoes. Watch the starchy things that you might be allowed to have if you're eating soup. Like, people I've seen on Instagram are pureeing veggies and potatoes and meats and all kinds of things in order to have those things. I personally, I'm not in that kind of a rush. I will be okay just right now doing what I've been doing, which is the eggs. I have been crock potting. I bought some chicken and cooked it in the crock pot, and anyone that's familiar with crock pot cooking knows if you cook it long enough, it will get soft, and if you chew it well enough, it will definitely go down and you will be okay. Speaking of which, here's something else that I've learned this week that I wanted to share with you guys, because I realized in my particular program, and this is just my program, no one ever told us how to eat. So here I am here today, guys, to explain to you the proper way to eat post VSG, because there is really a science to it. I think there may be a misconception, or at least I know I had a misconception, that when people say you can't really eat, they're thinking that you can't swallow. That's not the case. You can swallow. Trust, you can swallow. And when you get that first chance to have a meal, the first thing that you're going to think is, oh, I can eat this. And you're going to want to eat it if it's something that you enjoy, like my soup. I love soup. I could have easily eaten a small bowl that I had served myself. And I found out that just because it's there does not mean that you can or should continue to eat. You can swallow fine, guys. I have had no problem swallowing. There are some people that have experienced, they talk about pain that they experience, I guess, from the tube they put down your throat. Not me. Worst I had was a busted lip. I think I told you guys about that, but no pain swallowing. So that's not the issue. The issue comes when you try to swallow and you have had your fill, but you are eating or drinking so fast that you do not realize it. And the most disgusting thing occurs, guys, when you get too much. You will get one or two things. One, it's something that I call the foamies. I'm not quite sure what causes it, but the first time I tried my soup, I tried to go for an extra spoonful. And I learned that I have a 3 spoonful threshold for most things that I eat. 2 really is the point that I'm trying to get to with certain things. Just getting to 2, accepting that it's only 2, and stopping, because at 2 I'm satisfied. Depending on what it is, 3 can make me feel discomfort and tightness, which is not what we should be going for. No one should be eating to feel that full. It's kind of what gets most obese people in trouble as it is. We eat to feel full, not to feel satisfied. You know, that was just a habit that we've had of eating too fast or too much instead of stopping, and I was guilty of both. So this week I've been learning my threshold. I've been learning to slow down. I have been learning to stop before I get that uncomfortable, tight, full feeling. And one of the things that helped me, I saw a video by a YouTuber that most people probably know. He's not, I should not just say a YouTuber. A bariatric surgeon who happens to be on YouTube by the name of Dr. V, he's called. And most people probably heard of him. Very, very rough around the edges kind of guy, but he has good information. And he had a video and he talked about how to eat, and you could probably find it among my liked videos because I am subscribed to his channel. And basically, to sum it up, he said you should be taking a nickel-sized bite of food, chewing the food for 20 seconds, putting your food down while you're chewing, sitting on your hands to keep you from picking that fork back up before the end of your chewing cycle, waiting 30 seconds after you chew that to see how your body feels, to see if your sleeve is tight, to see if you feel full before proceeding. That helped me. And it actually helped me discover I am more comfortable with a 2 threshold right now, 2 bite threshold, a 2 spoonful threshold than a 3 or beyond. Now, mind you, I have these things with my soup. For example, I use a regular size teaspoon, which of course, as we know, is a lot larger than the baby spoons and those type of utensils that they tell us to use. I do have a smaller plate. I use a very small plate, which I'll have to bring on another video to show you guys. But for my soup, I really just had a teaspoon. I did not have my baby spoon for that. In fact, I haven't even used that yet because I haven't eaten anything to really need it. So that is something that I appreciate learning because it's helping me to figure out what I can and I cannot take in my new sleeve, aka Holly Go Lightly, because again, you do not want to overdo it because you will get the foamies, and the worst thing ever is the feeling of the food actually pushing back up through your esophagus, guys. I actually experienced that, and it is the worst thing ever, and it just kind of sits in your chest and it will push down. For me, again, I have not vomited, thank God. I guess for most people they will vomit. For me, it just sat there and it kind of pushed up. I can't even think for the life of me right now what I thought I could eat more than I should have, or something I ate too fast. But that taught me very quickly to slow down and allow myself to get full and to feel the fullness. So those were 2 things that I learned this week, as well as the best way for me to meet my goals, which I explained before, was to have 2 of these drinks that I have made. I keep one with me at all times. I do still have a preference for cold items, but most of the time it takes me so long, I don't have a chance to keep them cold. I try to just rotate them in and out because I still have to finish 2 of these, as well as at least a bottle of water per day to get my fluid goals. If I eat soup and things like that, I can count it But guys, honestly, I miss water some days. I really do. Not just miss water, I miss drinking water. Not sipping, I miss drinking water, because it's summer, it's been hot, and I've been wanting to gulp, but last thing you want to do is gulp down anything at this stage of the game. Yesterday, also, I went to my very first social event, guys, since surgery. A friend of mine celebrated her 50th birthday, as well as she retired. And it was a beautiful affair, very, very nice venue. Unfortunately, I was only there for about an hour and a half. And I'm going to tell you why. The venue, again, you know, it is been kind of like a quasi heat wave in Philly. It's been very warm, but as you guys know, I told you before, it's been very hard to keep my body temperature up. I'm always cold now, and this venue, very modern venue, very nice, was air conditioned, and it probably was appropriate for the temperature outside, as well as, you know, as people would come. You know, when people come, it usually gets a little warmer, you know, when you go to social events. But for me, feeling like already my body temperature is 10 degrees lower, I was freezing. I was freezing cold, and the cold made me tired. So about an hour and a half in, I had to tell my friend that I had to leave, which I kind of felt bad about, because she's an old friend and I hadn't seen her in a while, and I really wanted to talk to her at some point during the party. But guys, I just couldn't make it. I couldn't make it. I'm glad that I went. I'm glad I got out, but I couldn't make it. No temptation for alcohol. The food that she served, actually, there weren't a lot of things that I could eat anyway, but I really wasn't, you know, I'm not hungry. You're not hungry. At least I'm not hungry. I haven't been hungry. I eat more because I have to live, you know. You really have to eat to live in Post Op VSG. But it's not like it would have been pre-op, where I probably would have, you know, been drinking and eating and all of that. So, yeah, glad I went, but definitely will be my last social event for a while, at least until I get myself to the point where I can find balance, which is what I'm seeking now, just to find balance with Holly Golightly, so we can coexist peacefully, and I can succeed in my VA. Tomorrow I see my surgeon, guys. I have an earlier morning appointment where I will be weighed. I know stats are important, and I told you guys I was not going to give my weight until after I see the surgeon, but for shits and giggles, I did weigh myself today, and I am down to 286 pounds. When I put it in the Verytastic app, it says I've lost like 40 pounds since surgery. Which, not 40 pounds since surgery, I'm sorry. 40 pounds since the beginning of my weight loss journey. That is going to be my video for this week. I really appreciate you guys for watching, and I thank any new subscribers as well as my old subscribers for joining my channel, watching my videos. Please like, comment, subscribe. I love hearing from you guys. I am sorry I don't have anything as of yet at 18 days, I'm sorry, post-op. I don't really have anything to give you guys yet to compare myself. So if you notice anything different watching my videos, please comment. I would love to hear it. I don't really see it yet. I can kind of feel it, but I'm not really seeing it yet. I will be back next Sunday, of course. Don't forget, you guys, love yourself more every single day, pre-op, post-op. You love yourself, and you give yourself what you need to make sure that you are able to handle this life-changing event that you're either about to start or that you're in the middle of, because it really is important. So until the next time, thank you again, and peace.
People look at you strange saying you changed, like you worked that hard to stay the same. Like you're doing